Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba. Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Am I singing Furthermore, the Christian band? Or am I singing McDonald's? It is Friday, December 8th, 2023 AD, and we're going to have a loosey-goosey, hopefully fun Friday show for you guys here on the Hake Report. It's Hake Report. And I want to talk about this fallen state woman who's going to be coming on the fallen state today. Well, on the premiere, the YouTube premiere. It's also going to stream on Rumble. We have... she had a post about this Kate Cox woman whom I talked about yesterday on the Hake Report, and the day before that on Hake News, and today on Hake News. She's fighting to get her abortion for that unborn child who has Edwards syndrome. I hope to... maybe I'll mock this story finally. You know, I've been pretending like I was going to mock this story. This mic is kind of in my way. But it's cool. I like it. Hopefully get to your calls. This story is about climate change. Cringe. You're the city of Arcadia. Give me a break. You have, like, mostly trees and beautiful homes and nice cars that don't pollute. Because you give a hoot. And some other things, you know, this Barbie woman... this woman whom they made a Barbie American Indian gal, Indian chief woman. So hopefully all that and your calls, guys, if you'd like to call in. But anyway, it's the AJ Gallardo original theme song. Let's get right on with the show!
The Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
Hey guys, I hope you are enjoying the AJ Gallardo original theme song and that you like the Trevor Wesley redo that we play Monday through Thursday. You can call in 1-888-775-3773, and I hope you do. Some of you already on hold.
Oh, it's the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, la la la.
So, how you guys doing? I'm fine. I have a slight headache for some odd reason. But it's nothing. It's nothing. I'm wearing my Facts versus Truth t-shirt. See that? Facts versus Truth. Get yours. This one is it's tri-blend. That means it has polyester in it. And it's sort of heathered, speckled looking. So it's not as good as quote-unquote 100% cotton. Nugget Man in the chat, in the live Hake chat on YouTube, has told me multiple times that Hake's 100% cotton is actually false advertising. It's 80% cotton and 20% polyester. Is that true? I don't know, but that's what he claims. I don't know how they can get away with that. But facts are not truth. Maybe I should make a new design of this. It's not just plain black print, although I like it. That says facts are not truth. Because facts are not truth. Get that through your head! America first! My competitor interviewed my competitor yesterday, or it came out yesterday. It was published. Tucker Carlson interviewed AJ, Alex Jones. We love Tucker Carlson, even though he is our competitor. And we love Alex Jones if we love anybody. He, too, is Hake's competitor. But saying, get that through your head, made me think of Alex Jones. Because he says, America first! America first! Don't you understand? But anyway, teespring.com/stores/the Hake Report, thehakereport.com. I'd like to get to a call right off the bat here. 888-77-JESSE. We're on Jesse Lee Peterson's network. Okay. 1-888-775-3773. Mark in Los Angeles, California. How are you doing, Mark? Appreciate you calling.
I'm real good. Thanks for taking the call. And first, before I start, I just wanted to apologize for my language. Yesterday, I was baited by Satan, and I gave in to the bait.
Yeah.
And I'm really sorry about that.
Apology accepted. Again. I had forgotten all about it.
Thank you.
Don't
if
even
I
worry.
Do it again, I appreciate it. If I ever do it again, ban me for life, but it won't. It won't happen.
Yeah, it's not a bannable. It's just I would hang up on you, something like that.
And I usually don't talk that way, except I normally don't deal with Satan. And so what I wanted to follow up on was the points that I tried to make involving the IQ test, which he never spoke of after I hung up. That issue never came back. And this ridiculous idea that there's some island in the Caribbean that whites are left alone in a black-run country. It's someplace I never heard of, but we know about Haiti in the Caribbean and how they genocided every white man, woman, and child in that country. I know that in Jamaica, you can't leave your hotel room without having to worry about getting kidnapped. Now, the other issue on affirmative action, I think it was 1968 or 69 when Richard Nixon was president, they started something called the Philadelphia Experiment. It was the early term for affirmative action. What had happened in the 60s, and I lived through it, after the Civil Rights Bill passed, blacks still weren't able to get jobs. They still weren't able to compete with the white man. So they had to do something. So what they did, they started something called the Philadelphia Experiment to put unqualified blacks in positions of power. It was later turned into affirmative action. And whether white women, are the chief beneficiary or not, it was conceived to artificially equate white to black. So that's something, I wanted to follow up on, but I didn't have a chance. And lastly, and I'm sure you noticed this, in the debate, did you notice, well, if you want to call it that.
You're talking about the RINO debate?
No, the debate with the clown from Arizona.
The debate yesterday in that call versus call. Yes.
Yes, sir. Did you notice that as soon as I started talking, he started interrupting?
Yeah.
And then he wouldn't stop. And all he had as a comeback on me was name calling. He had nothing of any substance. Even if it is true, and I take everything that guy says with a grain of salt, that white women are the only beneficiaries of affirmative. That's a lie. Whether they're the majority of people that are getting affirmative action jobs, I don't know.
Yeah, they may be the plurality. Because they're the biggest minority in the country. There are more white women than there are Hispanics, I think. There are more white women, Hispanic men or women. There are more white women than there are blacks by far. So, of course, they're going to be and I'm not for white women getting affirmative action either. They shouldn't be.
Neither am I.
Yeah.
But what it was a diversion.
Yeah.
He didn't have a comeback. He didn't have a comeback on the IQs because there's nothing he could say unless he lies. And there was another lie that I think you should counter him with, because I've heard him call and make this ridiculous, outrageous lie that only 1.5% are in America of blacks are criminals.
What he said less than 1.05% or something like that. I think.
Yeah, well, he's a liar. That proves it right there. But beyond that, 1/3 of blacks are either on parole, on probation, or in jail. So that blows his 1.5% lie right out of the woods. And I want to say this to Hake, anywhere that white people go that's in a black-dominated country, you go at your own risk. In some cases, the State Department is even recommending that you leave a sample of your DNA if you visit some of these countries.
Wow.
So if they do find a body, they may be able to relate it to you. Black rule in America would be our destruction. And this is what Biden, the Democrats, and Satan, the guy that I debated yesterday, that's what they all want. You see, they want us to be a minority. Biden has even said so.
Right.
And believe me, any person who claims to be a conservative and votes for Obama twice and badmouths Trump is evil. They're lying and they're evil. And they're more despicable than an open Biden supporter. Because at least with somebody who admits to their stupidity, we could deal with. But people who hide behind, I'm a conservative, like Liz Cheney, and then she's doing everything she can to destroy Trump, these are really the most dangerous people. I think I've heard Jesse Lee Peterson say that the RINO was worse than the Democrat. And I would tend to agree with that. There are really some bad ones.
Yeah.
But,
interesting.
You know,
people are snakes, though. I mean, that's just the nature of, that's human nature. Human beings are pretenders and fakes. I mean, there are some people who are openly evil and make no bones about it. But most of the time, they
Right.
falsely justify what they're about. Everybody falsely justifies what they're about. Almost everybody, I think, as good. The most evil people have a justification and a rationalization for the evil they do, and they have people who fall for that false justification.
Well, you have to beware, though, of people like the guy that I debated coming out and telling you, I heard him repeat himself several times that he wasn't a white hater.
Uh-huh.
When you have to continually say something like that, it usually means just the opposite. And just because he's got white blood, he's married to a white woman, those are the worst ones. I'm
I know.
telling you.
That's very true. Oftentimes the case, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they still hate the white man. They cover up by marrying a piece of trash. Excuse the language. I didn't use profanity. But you know what I'm getting at. And he's an example. So just take it, don't let him fool you into thinking he's your friend and he's trying to bring you to a rational thought, because everything he basically says is an unprovable lie.
Yeah, there are, or unfalsifiable lie, like they say stuff that you can neither prove nor disprove because they go into something that you're not an expert in or whatever.
Right.
Isn't it a communist thing to dress up and be presentable and be polite and be a radical, subversive person? That's like a common thing. The devil does that. Dresses up like a beautiful woman and plays like she's nice, or dresses up like Obama, supposedly speaks well. I haven't really seen it, but cajoles you and is all charming, and the suckers fall for it.
Well, we saw with Obama, he conned the majority of white voters into accepting him. And then, a year or two into his second term, we find this picture of him and Louis Farrakhan cajoling.
Oh.
If that had come out before the first election, I guarantee he would have lost.
I don't know if that's true, though, because I think I had heard about Louis Farrakhan because of Sean Hannity and Jesse Lee Peterson's coverage of Obama, but nobody listened. And there are people who they just shrug their shoulders about Louis Farrakhan. Well,
in all truth, the truth be told, I do have some respect for Farrakhan.
Yeah,
he
know.
wants to separate the races, and he wants to keep race mixing between the races out. So I'm forced to agree with him on those issues.
His problem is that he's angry and he's a liar. Like, he accused Trump of wanting a race war because Trump wanted to send the National Guard to Chicago to deal with the crime over there, and he called that a race war. So he is an evil person, but he just does have some positions that are right.
I agree with that. I think if you were to look at Elijah Muhammad, the man who Farrakhan came after, he was actually a reasonable man. He was anti-communist. He allowed Commander Rockwell to speak at 2 of their rallies, and he respected him. And I liked Elijah Muhammad. I could find no fault in that man.
Huh.
He was a soft-spoken Negro, and he had some good ideas. He worked with J.B. Stoner. He allowed Rockwell to speak at his rallies, and for that, I'm forced to agree with him. But that doesn't mean he doesn't want my race destroyed.
Let me ask you a question, because you mentioned the word Negro, like that's how you speak. Was this how you grew up speaking, calling them Negroes?
No, I called him something else.
Oh.
Something I can't say on your
Okay.
show.
All right. So you call
not,
them something that's appropriate, because somebody called in who's younger, called into Anchor Baby, I believe, and said that you're saying Negro. He accused you of saying Negro to be inflammatory, but that's not how I take it. I think that's just, you're a bit of an old timer, and that's how old timers grew up. That was the proper term for them.
Well, they changed it in the 50s
Right.
and 60s. You know, it was a colored guy, or you would say Negro.
Yeah.
And that was a respectable term.
Yep.
And then they changed it to black in
Yep.
the late 60s. And then they changed it to African American.
Right.
So they don't even know what to call themselves.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, whatever you call them, as long as it's not a slur.
I just wanted to clarify that for anybody who thought that you were, because I was surprised that person thought that you were saying that. There are things that you say that are sort of inflammatory, but I didn't consider that to be one of them.
No, of course not.
It wasn't even said. I didn't even consider it to be said in bitterness. Some of the stuff you say kind of bitter, or like you dread, like you fear, like the caller yesterday whom you despise. He despises you, and he says you fear the demographic change. And I think that's accurate. I think you've admitted that you fear this change, this destruction that's coming in here on America.
And he knows it's coming, and he's gloating about it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, we've seen what happens in countries where a black majority takes over. Go to Haiti, go to South Africa, go to Rhodesia. And this is what Stanton wants. He wants the white race to be destroyed. And they're using evil slavery, which is actually a Christian condoned institution, where slavery was condoned in the Bible. And I'm not advocating for slavery.
Right.
But all I'm saying is they're using that as a tool to beat us over the head with,
I know.
to instill a guilt complex so that they can get what they want. And so far, it's working.
I know. There's nothing to be guilty about. We didn't do anything. And most of I bet you most of the slave owners were nothing like the caricature that they've made the slave owners to have been. I'm sure that there were some who maybe went too far, but that's human nature. People, that's what they're doing today. Blacks are doing that to each other and to whites, going too far.
Well, that's why the Bible says treat your slaves respectfully. Now, I don't know if that's the exact words, but basically Jesus wanted us to, and I am a Christian, Jesus wanted us to treat the slaves with respect.
Right.
But, even back in the slave days, they were misbehaving, escaping, raping white women. What's that guy's name, Nat Turner?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with who Nat? He's the biggest mass murderer of white people in the history of the United States.
Yeah. I mean, I read about, I don't know if you heard my 1917 Camp Logan mutiny.
I did. I called in that day.
Yeah. That was wild. They just went crazy off of hearsay, just like Black Lives Matter did, and false accusations, and killed random white people.
It wasn't any different with Rodney King.
And those were for U.S. Army blacks. That's wild.
No, I know. Well, but okay, that's true because they were Army.
Yeah.
But in the Rodney King situation, in the Watts, 1965, or in the this latest guy, what's his name, that was killed in Floyd.
Right, George Floyd.
Those incidences caused our country to change.
Right.
At least in the
for the worse.
Floyd case. What did you think of Derek Chauvin getting assaulted in prison?
That was evil, and I suspect that it was allowed to happen. I mean, obviously, it was allowed to happen. They allowed it to happen, and I think it was kind of intentionally allowed to happen. Like, they intentionally, I think, left him at risk for such a thing to happen. And it may even have been a Fed, I heard. I heard it was like a Fed Hispanic guy who
Yeah, I heard
just
he-
had 2 years. He'd already spent 20 years in prison, had 2 years to go, and had never hurt anybody, at least not in prison, at least not notably, that was recorded on record. And this guy stabbed him like multiple times, a bunch of times, I
Yeah.
think. I don't
Well,
know.
you
It's suspicious.
Oh yeah, I just like that other guy Epstein. He had the goods on all these bad pedophilic or whatever you want to call them, Democratic liberals, the pedophiles who went to his island. I think he was set up to be killed too.
Maybe I don't know if he may well have offed himself, because it's so hard because people are corrupt. People are both corrupt and incompetent, and when you're corrupt and incompetent, stuff like that, crazy stuff like that happens. Oh, the camera doesn't work, and he's able to kill himself. And he's a capable man, and most people are incapable. So he's capable of killing himself, if anybody is.
You're talking about Chauvin?
No, I'm talking about the guy who killed himself. Epstein. Yeah,
well,
he was
I
think he was a fairly capable man.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, to hang himself, where were the security, the prison guards? Why weren't they?
They were incompetent,
around?
sleeping.
Yeah, and look at the people, and I don't mean to change subjects, but since we're talking about jail and good guys that are in jail, look at the January 6ers.
Yeah.
They're being targeted for their race. They're being tortured. And the woman who runs that jail is basically, I don't know if she's officially a member, but she might as well be a member of Antifa.
Are you talking about D.C. jail or what?
Yeah, the D.C. jail where the J6ers are being held. She's just pure evil, man. And that's the jail they want to put President Trump in.
Wow.
These demons from D.C. These people are beyond evil. They are, I'm talking about the liberals that are trying to imprison Trump and take our vote away. They know that Trump speaks the truth, and that's why they're out to get him.
Yeah.
They're out to get anybody that speaks the truth. And, oh, by the way, before I go, did you get the name of that book? I didn't tell you over the air.
Yep. Sean gave it to me. Appreciate you leaving that for me.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great book. What the way I look at that book, it's a history of our white leaders in the 60s who fought against what we're living through today, and I honor them. And as far as one of the things that the idiot said yesterday, I'm scared because he said something to the effect, I'm scared because white men no longer rule.
Uh-huh.
Well, look at the Congress and look at the Senate. It's 80% white. So we still rule. I know that it's a temporary thing, but he's talking like we're already, a minority, and it's coming. And he's celebrating this evil.
Yeah.
He gloats over the fact that we're going to be a minority. He's not your friend. When he calls, he tries to con you, too. I could tell. I won't take a con. I've met cons like him before, and I'm not going to take it. I can tell by the tone and the things he says. He's a vulgar, evil man. All he had to come back on.
I got it, Mark. Appreciate it, man. Take care.
Thank you.
Have a good
bless,
weekend.
Hake.
Merry Christmas.
You too. Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Maze, my favorite caller from the sundown town of Dayton, Ohio. Maze, how are you doing?
Hello, James. How are you today?
I am fine. How are you?
I'm marvelous.
Nice.
Now listen to Matt, or whatever his name. Tell him to calm himself down. Ain't nobody trying to change who he is. He came out of Wallace days, and he came out of days when people didn't have the freedom to speak, didn't have anything until the laws changed. He wanted to talk about a slave in the Bible. Get real. He ain't no Christian. Oh, he is a Christian. That's what they found. But I'm glad that he's on here speaking because he's showing that they're still alive and well, walking around in America today. And guess what, James?
Wait.
Okay. And the wigger, tell him he's older than me.
He's older than you? Wait, he's older than you?
Yes, he is. He's older than me.
Wait, so he's like in his mid-50s. He's older than you?
He said he was 60. He said he was 60. And he just lied, the wigger. He do that good.
Stop saying that word. When Maze has unique language use. When she says the w-word-igger way, she's talking about a black who's really white or something like that, who, you gets along with whites.
James. Can't even get it right.
What is a wigger in your mind?
It's a Caucasian person trying to act like they're black and saying that they're black and they're not.
So you don't really believe that...
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. So Maze is accusing one of my callers who I happen to believe is black and a Cajun man, of being a white who's pretending to be black. And also she calls people bright when she means that they're dumb.
Yes,
Bright
Mark
doesn't
is real
mean
bright.
bright normally means smart, light, a lot of
Now, I
hope.
like to change definitions of things, so why can't other people?
I mean, you can. It's
Thank you.
entertaining somewhat. But it's potentially confusing for people who don't know who don't know your vernacular.
So since I haven't called you, I've just been listening. I don't have to call
Normally,
you.
a wigger means somebody who's white, not pretending to be black, but into the black thing, and talks black and dresses black and likes the black music and maybe likes black gals.
Yeah, right.
But that's not somebody who's literally impersonating a black.
So can I give my opinion now? Finish when you finish.
You also, what did you? I don't want to get into it. Go ahead with your opinion.
Mark is stuck on whatever's in mind that the slave masters had is still in his mind today. You're listening to him. He's a walking example of what's wrong with America, and they're still here. Somebody like
He's
Mark.
what's wrong with America?
He's a danger to this country. Yes, he is.
Well, he may be angry, and anger is part of what's wrong with America. And you too don't quite see clearly because you got to hang up yourself.
Can I finish?
No. I'm cutting in. I will let you finish, but not yet.
Right.
I'm cutting in to say, you too are part of what's wrong with America. I too am part of what's wrong with America. Anybody who's emotional, angry, beta,
and don't want to see change,
misjudging people like you, Maze, is part of what's wrong. Of course.
Really?
Yeah.
So now, can I finish what I had to say?
Yes.
Mark is scared. Mark don't like when somebody calls in to talk to you because you're a young person, and then you were talking to somebody else, but they can't give their opinion, and he don't want you to listen to what they got to say. But you want somebody to listen to what he has to say, and so do the wigger. Want somebody to listen, but everybody has their own opinion, right?
No. Everybody has what they think is their opinion,
No,
but I get
their
your
own
point.
Opinion.
Nobody's opinion is their own.
Whose is it then?
It's Satan's. It's Satan's or the Lord's.
Well, y'all keep on talking about Satan, and we listen to Satan every day.
Yes.
In the name of Jesus, as y'all say.
May's more man than Hake, says Flat Earth Victory, who accuses me of being a Zionist.
Can I finish, James?
Yeah.
See, women are not supposed to speak. I say this, as I said yesterday when I was sitting down talking to some guys, that when you can have a baby, go through 9 months of carrying it, and go through the labor to have it, then you can tell a woman something.
No.
Other than that, if it wasn't for her, you wouldn't be here.
That's silly. That doesn't mean that she gets to kill the unborn child.
No. Well, the people kill their unborn child, that means they didn't bring it here. But those that took the 9 months in the labor and did it, you wouldn't be here. So she let out a whole lot of evil things that's walking on this earth that's supposed to hate her.
Meaning human beings?
Don't care.
She let out some human beings, but she
let some devils.
But hold on, they weren't devils until she made them devils.
No, she didn't make them devils. Some of them came out that way.
Because of her evil in her. Her evil passed into the unborn fetus, baby.
And what I'm saying is one of my.
How do you figure it's no fault of the mother how the child is?
Can I finish, James? He was such a manly man. That one of my friend's husband. So he was this manly man and think women can do nothing. And guess who's taking care of his butt that he can't walk and can't do nothing now? His wife. Taking care of him, making sure that he gets where he got to go because he don't have legs anymore. So she got to break her back down to take care of him. And you're always talking about what women won't do and women this and women that. They go always take care of men.
Whatever.
Even when their mothers don't take care of them.
But,
and you always talk about the hate. So when I hear men sounding like that, something wrong with them. They didn't have nobody to love them. They like and love the ugly man syndrome. Those got a problem. You know what the ugly man syndrome is?
What's that?
A man too ugly and a woman don't want him. They run from those kinds. So Mark got the problem is that a change is coming, and a change is here, and he's saying people are boasting about it. So you know what, and Van Jones, you know what he meant when he said that? Van Jones has a Caucasian wife. So his kids will be mixed kids. So what are those other ones that's going to take over? What are you going to do?
They're not going to be, to me, it's not about the fact that they're mixed. It's the fact that their father is a beta, and so they're not going to be good. They're not going to be decent.
You don't know what they always speaking of Africa. Africa was given the land of milk and honey. And who came over there and moved the stuff out of the way?
The land of milk and honey is in Europe.
The land of milk and honey. Everything good was there.
It's like Eurasia. The land of milk and honey, Israel, is in Eurasia. It's not in Africa.
Israel is what?
Israel is in Eurasia.
I said, speaking of Africa, call what's money. The African people came over like Africa never had their happy home either.
What?
After the thieves wanted to come in and take the things that they have and claim it as theirs, and then cause them to fight each other. The wars we're looking at now, they fighting each other because somebody is in the middle of putting stuff out and giving it to them to do it. So if they got rid of the evil ways of carrying, to kill, and destroy, this world would be a better place. Don't you think so, James?
I don't know what you just said. You lost me.
If this world was not so evil, you wouldn't have people putting weapons in other people's hands for them to destroy somebody else over their land. So if people could live the way they wanted to live on their own and their own property and land, that's the way it would be. And tell Mark, he forgot about Clinton, he forgot about Stone Thurmond, and all those people that made babies.
You don't know that. You don't know. You don't know that Clinton. It's not established fact necessarily that.
He was on Jesse's show.
We had him on, but we didn't say that it's definitely.
It's definitely. He said Clinton was his father.
He said it, but that didn't mean that we said it. We don't know.
No,
we're not God.
Well, you wouldn't say nothing against him when he said it.
But because that's what he claims. We didn't say did we say that it was a fact?
And so now you still got.
Why are we supposed to say something against him if we don't know either way?
It's still mulatto. That's who he said his father was, and y'all went along with it.
We didn't go along with it. We just heard him out.
Why did you have him on?
Because Jesse Lee admits that children want their fathers.
Oh, really?
And he wants to find out if Clinton is really his father. He wants a DNA test.
Did he say it was his
He's
father?
talking about Bill Clinton's alleged son, the mixed black young man, who also has a son.
Uh-huh.
And we had him on the Jesse Lee Peterson show back around 2016 or so. And so Mays is claiming that Bill Clinton definitely did it. But you don't know Bill Clinton definitely did it?
He did what?
Had that child by that woman. Made that child by that black woman.
You clarified it when it was on there. And then again, when we come to how many...
Clarify what?
Who was raping who and who was doing all
blacks
these things?
Blacks rape whites more than the other way around.
I want Mark to tell me how many experiments was done on his people.
That's dumb. That's dumb. See, you are living in the past. William was right about you. You're living in the past.
I live in the future, and I want the wigger to go out there and ride on one of those cars, the self-driving cars. Tell him to go ride in one and tell him how it feels. I hope it don't take him off a cliff, but I want him to go for a ride in it. I'm with the future, not the past. And what I see coming in the future would be the best thing that could have happened.
That's crazy talk.
Why is it crazy? Just because you're not ready for it? Whatever God put here for you, or whatever God put on this earth, you're going to have to deal with it or live without it. And in this place, if you don't want to deal with it, you know what you got to do.
Whatever. Thank you, Maze. I hardly comprehended a single point that you made.
James, your niece and your nephew, your nieces or your brother's wife, she's not what you are. So you
don't even know what you're talking about. You can't even get it straight.
You don't accept it. If you accept that, you can accept the other thing. And stop talking about somebody coming across this board.
What's to accept? What other people do is other people's business.
They are part of you. They are part of your family. That's what they are. A part of your family.
What's the point? What's your point?
Accept them as who they are. And that's
what's who they are?
That is a change.
What's who they are?
Accept the change that came to your family, and you can accept the change that comes through the world, because that's what the world is.
That's dumb. That's dumb, Maze.
Why is that? Because you're afraid of it? Why?
You're making up stuff out of your imagination. You have no idea.
I'm not making anything out of my
Yes, you are.
I'm making stuff out of real life.
No, it is. No, you're not.
Why not?
Because for one, you're getting it wrong. You're getting the situation wrong. For two, you don't even know how I feel about it. For three, you're falsely pretending like we should celebrate. Like, are you pretending that we should celebrate and promote interracial marriage or something like that?
I celebrate my nieces and nephews.
No, I'm not talking about the nieces and nephews. I'm talking about the interracial marriage.
That's a change.
Should we promote and celebrate interracial marriage, Maze?
James, it used to be a law because you couldn't do it.
Should we promote and celebrate it?
Yes.
That's dumb.
It's willingly done. It's not rape and somebody's doing something to you that you don't want.
Is that a reason? Just because it's not rape, is that something to celebrate?
Yes, that's the reason. That's the best reason. That should be.
So anything that's not rape should be celebrated?
If people are in love and they want to do that with each other, that's their business.
That's not love.
What is it?
That's a phony, fallen state, love-hate relationship, just like anything else.
Really?
Any other romance.
As you say so. I can't help because it's changing in this world, and y'all won't be able to accept it. That's not my problem.
You don't know what I'm accepting or not accepting. You're just making up stuff.
Mark can't accept it. And
yes, he can. He knows what's going on, and he's pointing out what's going on.
What? He's not pointing out. We know what's going on. And
no, you don't. You don't know what's going on because you think that William is a white pretending to be black. You're crazy.
I say he's a wigger.
Yeah, because you don't know what you're talking about.
The one that always call in and can never.
I gotta go, Maze. You're a mess.
Well, I have one more. I gotta dap him too. What's his name? The one always calling in the show.
Rick.
He's messed up too.
Yeah, so are you.
In the head real bad.
So are you.
Well, if I am, at least it's not showing.
Yes, it is. Are you kidding me? How is it not showing?
I want to tell you how I'm messed up.
How is Rick's showing, but not your messed up? Rick?
No, you know how I know that mine's not showing.
Yeah.
Because I communicate with everybody. I don't have one group of people that I got to communicate with and then sit around and call the other group something wrong with them and something wrong with you too. Your group. You don't know whom Rick communicates with. I listen to Rick. I wouldn't work with that man if it was the last job that I had to have.
So you're the one who doesn't want to talk about to other people. Rick will talk to anybody. But you're the one who doesn't want to talk to him. You don't want to deal with him.
He's like the spook who stood behind the door.
Whoa.
And he's not a person to have to sit and work with.
It's a book, by the way, right? Something like that? It's a book.
That's a movie.
Oh, I think it was a book first, maybe.
It's a movie.
Was it a book first?
If you watch things, if you go watch it, you'll learn something. just like the guy that you had on the head that gun up in the studio. When he was doing the show.
What about him?
Y'all let anybody in your house because he was fake. I listened to him, I'm like, this man is a fake trying to get in on James' show and use people to get them to be on his show. Trying to pretend something that he's not. That's why he came back.
So you're saying Crishaun the Don is fake?
Yes. Crishaun the Don is not what you think he is.
What do you think that I think that he is?
You think he's just like the Proud Boys and all those people? He's not.
I don't think that he's just like the Proud Boys and all those people. What do you mean?
Yes.
You don't know what I think. You're thinking that you think that you know what I think, and I don't think what you think that I think.
He's just like Big Bump. See, I listen to learn.
Are you saying he actually is just like Big Bump?
That's why I don't have to call in every day. What?
Are you saying he actually is just like Big Bump?
Yes, he's just like Big Bump.
Oh, see, that's how I see him. Except Big Bump is a little bit more mature and sensible and soft-spoken, and Crishaun is a little bit more wild and loud and in your face, and they're both relatively decent guys, just like me.
You know when you say you don't trust black conservatives, and a whole of them out there just talking?
Yeah.
You know what I mean, what they're saying? They're just out there. Nobody don't even know them. Just like Star Parker. She out there just talking. I laugh at them.
She brought up Star Parker.
And when they die, they don't even get a star. They don't get nothing. Like Herman Cain.
What is this, 2008?
He didn't give nothing for all of the stuff he did.
Huh?
He died. Herman Cain died. Y'all don't even recognize the man who died.
Yeah, we did.
No, what did y'all do for him?
We said rest in peace. We appreciated
You said that about everybody.
And we also said that he should not have resigned. I mean, I don't think that I personally don't think he should have quit running for president just because they were going after him over allegedly having affairs with other women. That's mess.
He was having an affair with Caucasian women. Like Van Jones.
But you don't even know that's the truth.
Van Jones
you're just repeating it because you're a gossiper, Maze.
Van Jones is
and you're in your
who?
imagination. You make assumptions about people.
Who is Van Jones married to?
Purportedly a white woman, according to you guys.
So he's the one to tell you all.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Because he see it. But I
already know a change is coming, and he's not the man to tell me what the truth is.
Well, if he want to have some biracial children, and he has a white wife, so what else can he tell you?
That has nothing to do with what he should or should not say.
So y'all get prepared for it. I know I tell you.
Just because he's out of control and falls in fake love with the enemy race doesn't mean that he should tell me anything.
Like Matt is doing.
I gotta go, Maze.
Man like Matt is doing.
All right. You have a good day.
And with that, you have a good one.
Thank you. You too. Joe from Phoenix, Arizona. He deserves his to be able to say his piece. How you doing, Joe in Phoenix?
Good morning, James. Maze is always interesting.
Yeah, she's wild. what do you think about her assumptions about like William from California and Rick from Hampton? William from California, that's the wildest one. She's calling him a white man pretending to be black.
Well, first things first, shout out to William. I have a lot of respect for him as well. He's usually very fact-based and honest and factual in his takes. So, big shout out to William.
Okay, so you don't believe that he's white pretending to be black?
I do not, no. The Chauvin thing, I'm pretty sure it wasn't a Hispanic guy. It was a white guy who stabbed him.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not sure if he was a Fed or not, but anyway.
Yeah, he used to be a Fed at some point.
I didn't see that.
Oh, you did not? That's the only thing that I saw about him. And that he stabbed him like a bunch of times.
I checked all my Fed sources, and they didn't say that, but anyway.
Oh, but how about mainstream media sources? It was said in I thought it was said in the mainstream media.
I'll have to check that.
Yeah.
Now, on to you-know-who. He who shall not be named Voldemort. James, again, this guy's not angry with me. First things first, I'm not celebrating white folks becoming a minority. I'm not celebrating the demise of white folks. Again, a lot of my family, a lot of people I love, my two best friends for 40 years are white people. I don't want to see anything bad happen to anybody. Okay? Again, what he's mad about, and he talks about power. He can talk about Congress all he wants to. He himself, to Mark, wherever he is, has no power. And again, I guarantee you, there's no.
What is power? What's power? What do you mean by power that he does not have?
Country, power is usually money and the ability to impose your will, whether it's on society or your local environment. That's power.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I guarantee you, he has nothing in his life to be proud of, which is why he clings to what he clings to in his simplistic, barbaric, moronic ideology. He can call me all the names he wants to. It doesn't change the fact of the hell he's living in and the fact that his world is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and that does bring a smile to my face. Him, particularly, not white folks in general. Don't try to twist it. The fact that he's living in hell and his little world is shrinking every single day, that puts a smile on my face. Absolutely.
But you shouldn't. Doesn't the Bible kind of say that that you should not delight in the destruction even of your enemies?
It does say that, and he brings up the Bible passage of supposedly approving of slavery. No, I would say if you look at the Bible on the whole, it's all about loving your neighbor, treating them with respect and dignity, and not enslaving them. I know you think there's nothing wrong with slavery, James, and we disagree on that.
Nothing inherently wrong with it. There were wrong things that happened in the midst of it, just like with any situation, I mean, I don't know if there is nothing wrong inherently with it. I don't know if it's ideal. It's, whatever. I don't really have a big opinion about it. I wasn't there, So this, according to Reddit, a reliable source, Cali Connection, Satan's little pal, _ he posted 5 days ago, John Turskak, Turskak, also known as Stranger, stabbed Derek Chauvin, the former officer from Minneapolis, 22 times in federal prison. Stranger used to be from Barrio Rockwood 13 and was a former Mexican mafia member. Derek Chauvin is
like a Mexican name. Interesting.
Yeah, maybe he's mixed. I'm looking at a purported mugshot of him. I'll drag it into the folder as screenshot Hassan. And he does look like he could have some Mexican in him. It's just called screenshot there. So yeah, I mean, they call him a white man according to the feds or something, but they call Hispanics white. Most Hispanics are,
in some cases,
are white Hispanics. Like 60-something% of Hispanics are white Hispanics, and then many other black Hispanics, and then there's some Asian Hispanics, I guess. Anyway,
Oh, as I said, we're all mixed anyway, so it's really kind of stupid. But anyway.
Well, I mean, if he was a Mexican mafia member, that's different from a normal white man, like.
Unless they say normal whites. That's always very, 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 very funny to me. James, lastly, I won't keep you longer. The whole interracial marriage thing.
No. Hold on. Before the interracial marriage thing, let me deal with what you said about Mark. It seems like you and he and Maze and me and everybody, what we fall into is pointing fingers because we can criticize with the truth about any other person, but not seeing the wrong in ourselves. So I think that you're sitting there judging Mark blind to your own evil, because Mark was right about a lot of the stuff that he said about you. And you're right about the stuff that you say about him.
Everything he said about me, he was wrong about.
Well, I mean,
Mark because Mark wants evil in the world, James. He wants to kill black people. He wants to kill
Wait, where are you getting that he wants to kill black people?
He follows the Commander Rockwell. Look into him and see what he says.
Rockwell said to kill black people?
He wants a white-only nation, a white-only world, absolutely.
Whole world, only white?
Whole world, yeah.
I find that difficult to believe. I think
Go ahead and read what
that may have
what
been bluster. Everything that Rockwell said doesn't mean nothing that Mark from California has said indicates that he actually wants mass murder. If he's angry at the blacks, I mean that amounts to.
He's a follower of Rockwell. That says it all.
No, it doesn't, because you're making claims that I've never heard. And he's right to take everything that you say with a grain of salt. I agree with him on that. Not to be sucked in by your slick snake communist attitude.
And I think you're a huge snake as well. So
right,
we can agree to disagree on that.
Okay, let's do the interracial marriage thing.
All right, just because you fall in love with a person with a different amount of melanin does not mean you're sleeping with the enemy or you rejecting your own race or any of that nonsense. This means that two people met, had a lot in common, and fell in love. That's all it means.
But do you agree with me that it's this love thing gets tossed around? It's not necessarily real love. It's because people think that they love each other, and then it turns to hate. They just tolerate one another, or they get divorced. That's not real love. Love never ends.
Sounds like Jesse's type.
It sounds like
I don't agree.
You can take that down. Thank you, Hassan. It sounds like Christian love. It's not agape love. It's eros love that you're talking about. Fake Greek.
Are you saying marriage shouldn't be a thing? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying marriage is not a sign of love.
Any marriage, not just interracial marriage.
Right.
Well,
whether it's interracial or otherwise, it's based on lust, ego, emotion, and
is that why you're not married, James?
No, I mean maybe a little bit. Yeah, because I in my beta days I had little patience for when a woman lies. My hand would fly up like this, but it never flew
violence,
out.
James, no. Okay, good. No violence against anyone.
I do disavow DV, of course.
DV.
Domestic violence.
So,
yeah.
Yes, I would hope so. Okay.
For the sake of my channel. No, I'm kidding. Are you a federal informant?
I like to play around with that because I know I've been accused of that in the chat, and I know you have it in the back of your mind, so I like to play around with that. But no, I'm not federal reserve. I'm not a federal agent. I've never worked for the federal government.
Okay.
Although I have been on several congressional committees. I'll say that.
What a mess.
All right, James.
All right.
Run.
Thank you for the call. Take care.
Have a great day.
Merry Christmas and have a nice weekend. Bye. I hung up because I didn't want to get a click. He might have said Merry Christmas back. That sneak. You're right about him, Mark. And Mark, he's right about you. Maybe. The bitterness, watch the bitterness. And Joe, Mark is right about you. You got to watch your snaky self. Let's just have fun. William in California is on the line. William, thanks for calling. you were called out today, so you deserve to have your voice heard.
I was called out.
Well, I mean, she called you a white pretending to be black. Maze, my favorite caller. Like you're literally pretending to be black.
Oh, really?
That's why she called you that word, Igger way.
Ah, okay. Well, I don't think I have to prove my blackness to anybody.
Yeah.
That's just like a birthday. Why celebrate them? You have had many of them. You've had them before. But I don't have to prove my blackness to anybody like her anyway, because everything that comes out of her mouth seems to be ignorant. I have a aunt in my family who
she makes some good points, though. Like, people should watch themselves.
No, she needs to watch herself.
Yes.
Let me break this down. I have an aunt that speaks and talks just like her.
Nice.
And her,
is that why she gets under your skin? Does she get under your skin?
No, she doesn't get under my skin. I know what kind of person she is. This is my dad's sister. She has a lot of resentments, and especially with women who have children, and especially sons. And what she does is she gathers up all of my younger cousins around her, as old as she is, and rallies them around her to make her mute arguments ridiculously. And I look at Maze the same as I look at that person.
Moot. Are you talking about moot arguments?
Yeah.
M-O-O-T.
Yeah. It's the same type of person. Miserable. I don't know what this obsession you have with me, Maze. I don't know what it is. I'm obviously not interested in you.
Well, no, I mean, she goes after any black conservative who calls into my show.
Well,
it's not just you, man. Don't
say this.
I'm not a black
conservative. Wait a minute. I'm not a black conservative that started being a conservative when Trump came along. I've been a conservative since Reagan.
I know she's gone after black conservatives since before Trump came along as well. She's gone after Rick for years. She's gone after many other black callers on the Jason Lee Peterson show.
She's pretty much going after a bunch of people that don't want to be bothered with her.
Maybe. Anyway.
Definitely. Nice. I called in about want to talk about this committee they had going with Congress with these was that Harvard, MIT, Penn, allowing all of this stuff that's going on these campuses.
Yeah.
You've seen how the bald-head black chick, just did not want to answer any of the questions.
Oh, not Ayanna Pressley, but that woman Gay, Gay from she's the so-called president of some university.
Well, the lawsuits are getting ready to climb above $150 million, so that's going to be the demise of some of these people.
Oh, is it like Jewish groups suing these schools?
Yeah. My thing is that, and I challenge anybody that is pro-Palestine, okay, how do you say that somebody's taking somebody's land that long ago used to be, but you are defending the raping of women and old 80-year-old women and this and that, and a terrorist group like Hamas, and you support that? And then you go, younger people, they sit up there and go, well, they have no business being there. Well,
that's living in the past.
It is. Saying, I mean, what if the American Indian stood up and did that?
Right. Which they're for. They're for that type of stuff. They want the whites out of the white country.
Well, see, they say that they're killing Palestinian people. That's the first thing they say. But when was the attack? Was it October the 7th?
Yeah, October 7th.
How many rockets were fired?
I think
4,000?
Thousands.
4,000 rockets fired. Okay, so you say the Israelis are killing Palestinian people, but you missed the part about the rockets coming over across the strip.
It's a mess.
That's kind of. I mean, you see what that's kind of goofy, don't you think?
Well, so look at this. They've killed. I think they killed 1,300 or so Israelis,
Yeah.
And now the Israelis have killed like 13 or 18 or 20,000 Palestinians.
Well, that's what happens.
It is what happens. It's wild.
When you shoot 4,000 rockets over somebody, that's what happens. And you mean to tell me, Mays, you don't understand that? And then for the younger callers, why do they hey, supplying Ukraine and supplying Israel are two different things. For one thing, Ukraine's corrupt. Second thing, Israel is being funded by America for many, many reasons. One reason is to keep stability in the Middle East. So go figure that. Go figure that. Okay, if it's stabilizing it or not, that's the reason.
Huh.
So you want to support some people that are raping little girls and 80-year-old women. That's what you're supporting.
What a mess.
And if the American Indian throws 4,000 rockets to the White House, what are they going to do with them? And they used to be in charge here, too, at one time. Same thing.
Yeah, they didn't own the land, though. Many of them
No,
didn't.
they didn't.
Some of them did. And they sold it. We bought it, sold it, made agreements, and then there were some fights.
Paid for it. That's right. And kicked their butts.
Yep.
And Mexico, too.
Yep.
So they got a check, too. so let's start there. They got a check. Mexico got a check. The check was for California, Arizona, Colorado, Oregon, and Washington, and so on, and the rest is history. So now you're saying it used to be yours. It's like me buying a building, and then somebody comes along and say, wait, this used to be my parents' building. No, you're trespassing.
Man, I appreciate it. You're not going to be able to talk sense into the people who are.
I don't need to do that.
On the
I don't
campuses.
need to do that. But just let Mays know that look, I'm hip to your little group, and somebody even brought it up yesterday and said, why don't they just start their own show?
No,
Frederick,
because no,
Mays,
I don't want to
John, all of them, Tony, all of them, just start their own show. It would be hilarious.
Nice.
But no, I'm not interested in you, Mays. I don't have to prove how black I am. And about the Tesla, I helped build the Tesla. You can't give me one. I opted out for the BMW 5 Series M package. It's better. And I don't have any electric vehicles. Don't want one.
Nice.
Because you can't take that electric vehicle. In Alabama, when they have a hurricane, you'll never see an electric vehicle going through all that water.
Huh.
You know why?
It'll short out?
They'll get electrocuted. Come on. You'll never see a Tesla in a storm with water up above the rims. You're not going to see it.
Wow, really?
Yeah, so step into your future.
Elon Musk
your
can
future
figure
is a
that
scam.
out. Can't Elon Musk figure that out, that problem out?
Well, I don't know. The lady in Marin County that went with the self-driving feature that's illegal in most states, you know anything, Mays. You can't even really, you're not even supposed to use that. And the woman used it in Marin City, and you don't know anything about Marin City, Mays, because you never been anywhere.
I think her point was that
No, my point is the lady fell off the cliff and landed in somebody's swimming pool, and she boiled alive.
Yikes. Because of the electricity.
Thank you.
Whoa.
They had to drain the pool to get her out. She was cooked. That's your future, Mays.
That's terrible.
You can't even afford a doggone Tesla. So stop talking about Teslas.
All right, William, I appreciate it, man.
Teslas and black people. All right?
Take care. Merry Christmas
bro.
to you.
All right.
Bye. Guys, I will get back to calls and maybe these stories that I have mentioned, but it's Christmas time. Let's listen to the Wheeler Sisters. The Wheeler Sisters. This is from Lujo Records. You know that 2004 compilation, All I Want for Christmas? I've been playing it. Don Oíche ud mBeithil. It's translated That Night in Bethlehem. It's from an old Irish song. Shout out to the Irish. Hope you enjoy it. Wheeler Sisters. It's a great track from Christmas. And I'll be right back for Hour 2. Hang tight.
a night in Bethlehem, a night as bright as dawn. I sing of that night in Bethlehem, the night the Word was born. The skies are glowing gaily, the earth in white is dressed. See Jesus in the cradle, drink deep in his mother's breast. And there on a lonely hillside, the shepherds bow in fear when the heavens open brightly and God's message rings out clear. Glory now to the Father in all the heavens high, and peace to his friends on earth below, is all the angels cry. I sing of a night in Bethlehem, a night as bright as dawn. I sing of the night in Bethlehem, the night the Word was born. The skies are glowing daily, the earth in white is dressed. See Jesus in the cradle, drink deep in his mother's breast. There on a lonely hillside, the shepherds bow in fear, when the heavens open bright, and God's message rings out clear. Glory now to the Father in all the heavens high, and peace to his friends on earth below.
Peace to his friends on earth below.
All the angels cry.
All the angels cry.
Glory now to the Father in all the heavens high, and peace to his friends on earth below, is all the angels cry, is all the angels cry.
Stunningly beautiful, says Mike Gibson. Mildly haunting song, says Lisa J. Fox. The Irish are smiling down upon Hake, says somebody. And somebody said, "What, Hake, what language is that you're babbling? It's Irish." Or, what do the Irish speak? Or did they speak, or whatever. Hake, you butchered that, says Steve C. But that was the Wheeler Sisters. Lujo Records, All I Want for Christmas compilation. Hard to find on the internet, but I got it from Lujo Records, Lujo Records. The Wheeler Sisters. Don Oíche mBeithil. It doesn't sound very Irish. How do the Irish sound? No, that sounds French or something. Whatever. I got to read some super chats, guys, and then get back to calls and stories. Well, not back to stories. Haven't even got to one. Over on buymeacoffee.com, Ego is Real bought one. In another unsurprising show of weakness, 5th place Mama Krispy Kreme complained to Megyn Kelly during the break of the RINO debate. Mama Krispy Kreme being the fat RINO, Chris Christie. Megyn Kelly being, I didn't know Megyn Kelly, she hosted the debate. She moderated the debate, really? During a break that he wasn't getting enough debate time, she told Krispy Kreme that the moderators had more questions for him, but he kept inserting himself into the conversation, giving Vivek more time to respond, because he kept on inserting and responding to Vivek, which gave Vivek more chance to respond to him, taking time away from himself. Pick me! That's Vivek, because I call him the pick me candidate. Pick me! I'm MAGA. His voice isn't that high. And I like Vivek Ramaswamy. He should have named himself Randy Rogers. Change your name, buddy. Nobody's going to vote for a Vivek Ramaswamy. Nobody with any sense, anyway. Except for these people who are for this change, like Mays might vote for him. Pick Me got 22 minutes. Meatball got 21 minutes. I don't call him Meatball. Hillary got 17 minutes. Who's Hillary? Oh, that's Nikki Nimrod. Haley, I guess. 17 minutes. Really? She only got that much? Ron DeSantis got more. And Krispy Kreme got 16 minutes and 52 seconds. That's pretty funny. It's quality and sometimes quantity. Harmony bought a coffee. Have any good Christian books to recommend? How about the Bible, Harmony? Besides the Bible and JLP books, haha. Oh, you got me. This Present Darkness. I liked that as a kid. The Magic Bicycle. It's a pretty fun one. The Screw Tape Letters. That was kind of cool. It's kind of like reading the Communist Handbook. You only read the Screw Tape letters. It's like a uncle demon writing to a nephew demon or something like that. They shouldn't really be uncles and nephews, but that was C.S. Lewis. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Kind of fun book. I'm rattling off children's Christian books that children's Christian stories from like C.S. Lewis and stuff. I heard Lord of the Rings is good. It's sort of Christian based, right? J.R.R. Tolkien was friends with C.S. Lewis. They were Christians. They were contemporaries. I think they were Christians, somewhat. Surprised by Joy. That's C.S. Lewis talking about his wife, Joy. I've never read it. Raul Reese. Book. From Fury to Freedom. I like that book. If Raul Reese was this, or is, I don't know if he's still alive, maybe. This preacher guy on the radio or something. And when I was a kid, I read his story, and he was a domestic violence committer. And he also knew, like, karate or, kung fu or one of those things. And so he, like, would kick his wife. Ooh. And he was all mad and gonna kill her, I think. And then he turned on... he turned on the TV and saw a preacher, and he changed his mind about killing her. Obviously, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. That's a nice book to read. It's a Christian book. She says, besides the Bible and JLP books, haha. The 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success. Little thin piece of book. Pocket guide. It's a really good book. Reminder of the basics. How much do you forget the basics? Ridiculous. Thank you for the coffee and question, Harmony. Thank you for the ice cream and lemons. That son of a... Boop. And beta legs, Misty, and 555. And thanks for host and Hake, Jake Hudson 12. That's cool over there on D Live. That handyman, generous donation over on Rumble Rant. My bad for hanging up, James. The guy from Arizona is most likely with a white woman because he's afraid to face his black mama. Whoa. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to use the word psychology. The twisting of the perverting of the affections by the world, meaning people in the world, pushing this diversity on people, and the mothers and the Satan within you is very interesting. How different people's issues crop up in these different ways. Thank you. Appreciate it. No problem having to hang up. And I think that's all for now. Appreciate the support, fellas and fillettes, gals. That's cool. Brian in North Carolina has been on hold for some time. Brian, thanks for calling, man. What's up?
Nothing much, Hake. What's going on with you, man?
I'm hanging out, hanging in there, hanging on.
I know it. It's been a heck of a ride so far on the show.
Yeah, pretty wild.
Lots of egos out there.
Yeah, that's for sure. Everybody judging one another, not blind to themselves.
Oh my God.
Right about other people, but blind to themselves. Half right about other people. Sometimes kind of crazy about other people. Really, you don't necessarily know.
For the most part, they're wrong though.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a good segue to the point which I called about was how there's nothing wrong with slavery.
You agree with me on that?
I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with slavery. In fact, I have a hot take about something else, but slavery, if you look at the people who are trying to say that slavery is wrong, it's always about what somebody did to them instead of looking at themselves in the situation that they got themselves in, so to speak. And from as far as I can see, that's the problem that happened in America was with slavery. Slavery, they overreacted to it, and what did they do? They forced integration, and then they ended it, right?
Yeah.
And that was an overreaction. Now, the only problem with that was only white people looking at themselves and then overreacting due to the blacks who are forcing it on them while not looking at themselves. And now it's the same thing. Now we're having another overreaction to it, right? And it's going the opposite way. Now we're going to give the blacks and minorities, all of this false power and this fake idea that they are being placed in this position where they are the authoritarians, and the white people are bound to do the same thing again. Lord willing, they don't.
Yeah.
But as far as I can see, there's going to be an overreaction and another failure on the black and everybody else who's pointing the finger is part of looking at themselves, which is, like you said, the same thing we've been seeing on this show, pretty much the whole show. Everybody's pointing the finger instead of looking at themselves.
Yeah.
And it's just really crazy because the beauty of slavery, which is my take that we should have now, is that there's something amazing that comes out of that on both ends for both people if you have no judgment and if you can continue to look at yourself. And I look at the workplace, and I'll have a guy who comes in and who may want, let's just say, $30 an hour. And he may have the skill, but he wants that $30 an hour versus I have the guy that comes in who knows a little bit but doesn't know what we're doing and is looking at himself enough to tell me that he'll come in at the baseline of what we pay, the very bottom, because he knows that he doesn't know what we're doing.
Right.
And I can tell you 10 times out of 10, that man that comes in at the bottom, looking at himself and knowing that he is not prepared in some way or form, if it not be in, one or two ways or a bunch of different ways, to admit to himself that he can do that, he comes out on the other side of that knowing so much more and moving forward with so much more than that guy who came in at $30 an hour.
That's interesting, man. There are a lot of people who just want to push so hard for themselves that they end up hamstringing their progress in the world, in life. They hold themselves back in life, man, pushing so hard.
I know so many of them, Hake.
Yeah.
And it's a shame. It's a shame, man. That slavery is essentially just, forced work. And anybody who knows anything, anybody got common sense, knows that everybody is forced to work.
Right.
I'm forced to work.
It was part of God's curse. Accept the curse, I guess.
Right. And it's like, if you don't want to work, that's an issue. That's not only your issue now, it's everybody's issue.
Huh. How do you figure? What do you explain?
I think about the homeless problem.
Oh yeah.
I think about people, being given money to live on the streets and do nothing. And I think about what could come of that if we had slavery, or call it what you want. You could just call it simply forced work.
Did you think of that because I've mentioned that with regard to these homeless bums on the street? Or did you think of that separately from me?
I've heard you mention it before, and I've always thought that.
Yeah, okay. They should be forced to work.
It makes no sense for them not to work.
Yeah. I get that many of them are mentally insane. Part of it is because they're on drugs, because the drugs drive a person insane more, right? They're already insane. Everybody's insane, but the drugs drive you off the deep end, the normal level insane. That's so true, man.
And it's just, it's a mess, man. I want to say something, but I know I really can't say anything because I don't know. But it's just crazy, man. People really just have to start looking at themselves.
Yeah.
Every time you do something, just a little practice. Every time you open your mouth when you talk to another person, reflect on what you talked about 5 minutes after it happened. And reflect on how you looked and what you said. Not what the other person said, what you said. How you responded. Everybody should be doing that.
Why?
Because no one is looking at themselves.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm just trying to think
sometimes
the simplest thing somebody could do.
For me, it takes, it may take some years before I realize how stupid I was in such and such situation. I don't think 5 minutes will do. Maybe.
No. I'm not saying, no, I'm totally not saying that, Hake. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just trying to encourage people to just consider waking up, because that's all you got to do. You need to look at yourself and see that you see something that is wrong. There's something wrong about that.
Yeah.
And why are you doing it? You don't want to do it, so why are you doing it? And people need to start to consider these things. Nobody's looking at themselves.
I really think that if you feel animated by anything, then you're not for what's right in that about that thing. Like, I saw this girl cussing, like openly, and it was like disturbing how much she was cussing. And yes, she was wrong for cussing that much, but my being bothered by that, I knew that there was something wrong in me.
Totally. You're talking about you, but you just said something that I literally just posted about this on X the other day. I said excitement is the love of anger. And that's exactly what you just described.
Yeah. Nice. That's pretty crazy. Interesting, huh? That's the thrills. Crazy, Brian.
You broke up. I didn't hear you.
Oh, I said that's the thrills.
Oh, yeah, 100% the thrill, man.
Yeah.
100% a thrill.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's all I called about Hake.
I appreciate it, man.
I'm enjoying the show. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say, did you answer the biblical question yet?
What is the biblical question? You talking about Jesse's biblical question?
Yeah.
What is the biblical question?
What does it mean to come to God in fear and trembling?
Oh, yeah. I did answer it on the JLP show. Or in church or something. What's that?
I must have missed it then.
I thought about it more, though. Maybe I said it off air. I said to be serious about it. But then I thought more about it. And if I get an opportunity, I'll tell it in church with Jesse Lee Peterson on Sunday. Because I have pondered it a little bit more.
Well, I just had something happen while I was on the hold with you, and I want to give my answer to you. And I believe that the answer is that it's simply what it says. When you come to God and as you get closer to God, you will be in fear and trembling.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool, man.
Yeah, that's what I notice every time I get closer to the truth. I'm
the fear and trembling comes
shaking in my boots, so to speak.
Yeah. All right. Nice, man.
Well,
good to hear from you, Brian in North Carolina. Call me again.
Right on. Take care.
All right. Bye. David in Ocala, Florida is on the line. David, thanks for calling, man. How you doing?
Well, today's my birthday.
Wow, happy birthday, man. It's my birthday, too.
Yeah, 58.
Nice.
So I'm not in between math class, okay? Yeah,
58 today.
Yeah, 58. And
okay, so you're a late 1965 born guy.
Yeah.
It took me to do the math in my head one morning, like last week or so, to realize that born in 1965 means you're 57, 58.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Well, on.
So Brian, somebody wrote in the chat. Let me guess, this is David's brother.
Oh, really? Why?
Yeah, just a minute ago. Okay, when he's talking.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
You could be his brother on his white side.
The guy that was just on the phone?
Yeah, because he's part black.
Okay, that's okay. Well, you know what? He is correct.
How's that okay?
I called, yeah, that's great. Hey, I called about
How's
something
that great?
else, but yeah, it's great. I want to talk about something he said real quick. He's right because what he's saying, because a lot of people, what they're doing now is they're blaming others for their actions. In other words, like these Antifa people that are burning stuff down, blaming somebody else. People that are going against Israel, blaming them for, their actions. And what he might mean by this is the Word of God says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So when you realize who God really is and that you're just, you're nothing, okay, and that you need God, okay, you need God, and you realize that He is, Almighty. It wakes you up, man. It wakes you up. It wakes a lot of people up, and that's why it says that. In the Bible. But I wanted to comment on poor Derek Chauvin. He gets railroaded.
Yeah.
And he gets stabbed 22 times.
Right. By a Mexican mafia member. I wonder if he's kind of hard to get along with, and has nothing to do with the George Floyd situation. It was just they hated him, or else he's a cop and they hate cops.
Yeah,
they hate pigs.
It is because he was a police officer.
Is that the motive, or they established a motive?
Could be, but like I was going to say something today. Can't we all just get along? On your show.
Can we get along?
We all just get along? Yeah. And just because you're a minority, okay, doesn't mean that you're smart.
What prompts you to say that just because you're a minority doesn't mean you're smart?
Because they just think that just because they're a minority that they're smart, and they put them in these positions of power that they don't deserve.
Oh.
You know what? The last person.
Oh
I
yeah,
just
just because you're a minority in power doesn't mean you earned it. Is that what you mean? And you're smart?
Just because you're a minority person and you're not white,
Yeah.
does not mean that you're smart. Okay? Think about what I'm telling you.
Okay.
You know, look at that. I don't know. The lady, I think Will, I'm glad to hear Will again on the show, brought up that bald-headed black lady or whatever that was.
The woman named Gay, the president of some university.
Right.
Yeah.
She
was questioned in Congress over so-called anti-Semitism on college campuses, something like that.
It was. Okay.
I wonder why they don't have
the
congressional hearings, not that it would do anything, on the anti-white propaganda in all these schools, this fake racism notion. Oh, I know, because Congress participates in that fake racism mumbo-jumbo. Anyway.
Well, now they want to. Dick Durbin wants to, because they can't get nobody in the military because of the LGBT stuff and the making people take the jab. Okay, and they lost their right. So now they're trying to get these minorities, if they'll
illegals
pass legislation. The illegals, I mean, not minorities, but the illegals.
Yeah.
If they'll sign up for the military, they'll make them citizens.
Oh, really? Yeah. They do that already for the so-called immigrants.
Yeah, well, anyhow.
So the day that you were born, that Christian biblical referenced song by the Byrds, Byrds, song called Turn, 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 was the #1 song in America the day that David from Ocala, Florida was born. According to Spoiler Alert.
Yeah, that's a monumental song there, man.
There is a season, turn, 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 for everything.
That's, Ecclesiastes 33 or 3 something. I think it's Ecclesiastes 3, or I can't remember, but it's in the Bible.
A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time for peace, a time for war, maybe.
Right. A sow and a time to reap. Yep, and a time to live and a time to die. So.
Yeah.
Hey,
nice.
Let me just tell you. Let me tell you something real quick, and I'll get off the phone because I know you. It's late in the show. And blah blah blah. A lot of people have. A few people had commented once before that I sort of sound like Theo Von. I guess because of my stories. Okay, some of them stories I told you before.
I don't know who Theo Von is, but
he's a comedian. He's from Louisiana. He's a country.
Oh, he's white.
Guy like me.
He's white, but he talks kind of black because he grew up around blacks.
Yeah.
So he had a wild life and lots of stories. Okay.
Yeah, right. So here, check it out. Here, this is a cute story. Okay, when I was 7 years old, back in Tampa again, around that same neighborhood that I told you I got that bike stole. Okay, so. This little girl, my same age, she wants to come play with me, okay? So her mom dresses her up, man, with this dress like she's going to church, got these little black shoes on with the white socks. I mean, that's what they did back then, you know what I'm saying? And so anyway, she comes over to my house, and she says, what do you want to do? I said, well, let's play house. And so we had this little utility room.
How old were you?
I had 7.
Oh, okay.
So we have
5 is the cutoff for playing house, man.
What is?
5, age 5.
5.
You're not supposed to be playing house at 7, although you were playing with a little girl.
Right, I was 7, and so my sister, we had a utility room on the end of our carport that had the washer and dryer in it, had a door. And my sister, that was like 3 years younger than me, had a table with chairs and saucers and dishes, and that's why I came up with this with the girl. So I take her in the utility room, and I tell her, I say, listen, I go, you're my wife, I'm your husband, you're cooking my dinner, and I'm going to work, okay?
Nice.
Nice, right? So I go outside the door for about 15, 20 seconds, knock on the door, and I come walking in, and I go, honey, I'm home. And I grab this girl and I embrace her just like in TV, and I give her this kiss, okay, like she was really my wife. This girl starts it freaked her out, man. She started crying, and she ran right out the door. So I chased her, and I got to my driveway, and the last thing I saw was her crying, running across the street, and hearing those little shoes hitting that street, man. Those little dress shoes, clickety clack clack clack, as she's just crying and. Anyway, that's crazy, ain't it?
You're going to get Me Too'd from when you were 7.
Well, that just shows you.
That's
what type of kid I was
S-word assault.
Well, I must have got it from watching soap operas and stuff.
That's funny, man.
As a kid.
How are you allowed to watch soap operas? Were you raised Christian or no?
Not at that time.
Okay,
really.
Makes sense.
That explains it. Yeah, I was, because, and what makes me remember the whole thing was the deal of telling her, honey, I'm home.
That's funny, man.
I know it is, man. So that's something like Theo Vaughn, but that's like a Theo Vaughn story.
Was she black or was she white?
No, she was white.
Okay.
It's just, and I just remember them shoes, man, and them socks, back in the 70s, that's how people were. If they were, she wasn't coming over in no, raggedy clothes, she was going to come. She must have liked me, all I'm saying. So her mama dressed her up for the best year. But I guarantee when she got home and told her mama what happened, she was like, well, you don't have to go visit him anymore.
Nice.
Yeah, so, all right, man. Let me see something here real quick. I just wanted to let you know, man, that people need to know that land, before I go, that land over in Israel is given to them by God, okay?
You need to talk to Bill Lockwood about that one. I don't know if you heard Bill Lockwood on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. He was given to them by the UN, and the UN is not of God. Now, God could have used the evil UN to give them that little land that they have, but he begs to differ. He thinks that's Zionism, and Zionism is wrong, he says, Bill Lockwood. I don't know if you've heard Bill Lockwood on the J.C. Lee Peterson show past couple of times.
No, but is Bill Lockwood a Christian?
He's a Christian pastor. He's a Christian pastor. He's on the J.C. Lee Peterson show every month, the last Tuesday of the month, basically. And he's been that for years, and he has his own church over in Wichita Falls, Kansas. Okay. I mean, Wichita Falls, Texas, not Kansas. Sorry, Texas.
That the church replaced Israel, so he must believe in replacement theology. Then
I don't know what he calls it. I don't know if he has a specific term for it. But we are the spirit. We Christians, if we are truly born of God, we are the spiritual Israel. Well, and that's what Jesus talked about, isn't it? And Paul?
No, sure, but they came up. See, remember I told you before that they didn't ever believe there would be another nation of Israel in the Bible when they read it before 48. Okay, so what they came up with is they decided, well, since there's no Israel, the church replaced Israel. So that's been going on for a long time. And then once the nation got reestablished, God was right. He's always right. Okay.
He's always right, but you guys' interpretations of the Bible are not always right. By you guys, our human beings' interpretations of the Bible are not always right.
Well, but watch this. You're correct in a way, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, no, you're correct in the fact that we are the children of the promise, okay, when we become Christians. We are the children of Abraham because of that, okay? But
Father Abraham had many sons. Right. Many sons had Father Abraham. I am one of them. And so are you.
Land,
let's just praise the Lord.
And the people. You hear me?
What?
There's a there's a difference between the land and the people. And he promised them that land. It's in Deuteronomy 9.
They already had that land, and then they squandered it and they lost it.
Well, yeah. Well, he promised that he would scatter them throughout the world until the last days, and then he would bring them back. Okay, and he brought them back, just like it said.
He brought them back to himself, the kingdom of heaven. He brought the spiritual Israel together.
But he also brought the people to the land. Okay.
You can claim that, but we don't know whether that was God or Satan or an imitation of God, because there were Christians who were behind. There were so-called Christians who were behind this Zionism thing and establishing Israel with in cahoots, in collusion with the evil United Nations. I don't think the United Nations ever has not been evil. Maybe there's been decent people within it. But do you believe the UN is evil or good?
I believe that they're pretty much evil.
Yeah.
I think they felt sorry for him because they...
Feeling sorry for someone is evil.
Right,
there was a
but
great men's forum.
For him because of what Hitler did.
Hey, there was a great men's forum yesterday, and without exposing too much, I have heard this many times, but I haven't heard it quite this explicitly, that not just sometimes when you help people, but 99.999.9% of the time when you help somebody, you're doing it in the wrong way. And so these people feeling sorry for the Jewish people and establishing Israel, they did it wrong.
Well, here, I'll leave you with this to chew on.
Okay.
I told you before that Jesus will not come back until they say, "Blessed is he that comes in the name of the Lord" at the end of the Great Tribulation. So really what a lot of people believe, what Hitler was doing, because Hitler was big into the occult, that the enemy was using him to just try to wipe them out, okay? Because think about it. Dude,
but the enemy was using both sides, all sides.
Well, I'm just saying he was definitely using Hitler because Hitler was in the occult and all kinds of stuff. So anyway, if Satan, the devil, could have took out all the Jews and killed them all, because if he could have took over the world, man, he would have done that, okay? Think about what I'm saying. And then he could have knocked them all out and took them all out, and then there wouldn't be no Jews to say in the land of Israel, say, "Hey, blessed is he that comes in the name of the Lord." You just, chew on that tonight when you're sitting around or whatever. Think about that, because that was really why he was trying to kill all his Jews. In my book, okay? Not that they... plus he took their money.
But some of them, he just had them self-deport or deported them, right? He tried to deport a bunch of them, and then he tried to kill a bunch of them. Or somebody in that administration tried to kill a bunch of them, according to what I heard.
Well, did you ever watch Schindler's List?
I did. That was fictional. That's historical fiction with that Liam Neeson guy. I just recently watched that within the last, year or two or three.
Okay, well, that's pretty right on about pretty much how bad it was, how bad they treated those people.
How do you know? I mean, I don't want to get into this.
Well, if they killed 6 million of them, dude, come on. You know how many people
I read Bill
is?
Lockwood's book. It was actually a couple 100,000 short of that. It was 5.8 something.
Okay, well, that's like 220, 221, whatever it takes, okay?
Did I say Bill Lockwood? Bill O'Reilly's book.
Oh, Bill O'Reilly?
Yeah, Killing the SS.
Yeah, well, 5.8 million, that's,
That's a lot.
Christmas.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah.
I mean, but whatever, man. I don't know.
Anyway, hey, have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Have a great day. And thanks for letting me talk on my birthday. Y'all be good.
Nice. Have a happy birthday and a Merry Christmas. Call me again.
Oh, same to you, buddy. Be good.
All right.
Bye.
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 Ooh. Michael in Canada is on the line. Oops. Michael in Canada, how you doing, man?
Fine.
Right on.
Happy birthday to the previous caller.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I just want to share a little story, if I can. It's not kids-friendly, by the way, but...
Okay, cover your ears, kids.
Yes, cover your ears, kids. So, earlier on Jesse's show, there was a Muslim called in and said they don't know what mean Allahu Akbar.
Right, I took that with a grain of salt. I suggested that...
And I know that Jesse said that the Quran told them to deceive people.
Yeah.
And it's true.
The Quran?
Got a story.
Was it the Quran or the Hadith or just the teaching or just human nature?
I don't even read the Bible. Don't tell me about other books, man.
Okay. Then how do you know it's true?
I don't know. I just heard Jesse said it, but...
Oh, okay. But it sounds true to you.
Behind it. I got a story to tell.
About a Muslim?
One day... Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a Muslim neighbors, He's African, because in Canada there's a lot of immigration and a lot of kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I was pretty drunk that night.
Wow.
And I saw this guy. He said he was my new neighbor, so I speak with him a little bit. He told me, "Hey, come in my house and speak a little bit." So we spoke. He told me he was Muslim, and I told him, "Yeah, I believe about God, but at that time I didn't think of myself as Christian." And I saw in his eyes something, but I didn't do nothing about it. Keep going. So he asked me for a cigarette, and I said to him, no. And then he told me, "I'm your master. Give me everything you have in your pocket."
Whoa.
So, like, at that time, I'm like, right there, whoa. But he has, like, an accent. So he speaks French, but with an accent, he's like, je suis ton maître maintenant. So I don't quite understand, so I make him repeat a lot of time. And then I'm like, whoa, man, this man's crazy. So I stand up, ready to fight. There's a door that goes straight outside, and there's a door that's going in the hallway in his apartment. So when I stand up, he's like, whoa, he's ready to fight. So he start running straight to the door that's go outside, and he locked myself in.
Whoa.
Whoa, man, this man is crazy. So I trying to pull the door, and he don't want to. I look to the window. He's calling the police. I'm like, what? So I start running straight to the door that go to the building. I'm going out. So the police came in. I trying to tell them that he scared me. He's crazy, man. Do something about it. And they didn't do nothing. And that's it, man. Crazy guy, man.
So he called the police on you somehow.
Yeah. But before that, he told me that he was my master and that I own everything that I got to him.
Wow.
I was like, what?
So that's kind of like what's yours is mine because I'm God's
But they always said
son.
that we are infidels.
Right.
Not even the Christian, everybody. If you're not Muslim, you're infidel.
Yeah, true.
And even if they're cool with you, when the time will be, you'll be the one,
Now,
but,
what you just described, it does describe the Muslims. I believe that. But it also describes that's how human nature is. That's how people are.
Man.
They pretend to be your friend, and then once there's some kind of you cross them or something, they get so entitled, and the devil rises up, rears its ugly head in them.
But it was so odd, man.
Yeah.
I was like, why?
That's
Why?
wild,
What
though,
did
to
I
be
do?
That's wild to be brainwashed to think that you can say that to a person. Plus, the guy's, you said he was an African, right? So he was this, a lot of times these blacks have this entitled, I deserve your stuff mindset sometimes.
Man.
Yeah.
Where I'm from, it's socialist to the core.
Right.
You don't understand, man. We do everything for them. I work for nothing. Literally nothing.
Man.
And it's crazy. I got 2 jobs. I told you that before.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I wish I could move to the U.S., man. Maybe one day.
Yeah, well, I wish you well over there. Watch your back. Be wise in your dealings with people.
You can be sure about that. Hey, those Mormons that came in.
Also, watch yourself, man.
I
Hey, before you tell me this Mormon story, also watch yourself and how you're responding inwardly to people.
Watch
your emotions.
Before I knew JC and all that thing, it was, I was in the fallen state,
Right, yeah.
I think that...
So you would get yourself into trouble with how you dealt with people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I thought like everybody was cool.
Oh, yeah, you bullied your dad.
Everybody.
You and your friends bullied your dad, right? Didn't you knock him off his bike?
Yeah.
He's laughing about it. Terrible. All right.
Better laughing than try.
What's that?
Better laughing about it than try about it.
Right, true. Yeah, it is sort of funny thinking back about it. So you wanted to tell me about those Mormons.
Yeah. So, I told them that I don't like to read. I'm dumb. I'm not educated.
Okay.
You know what they did? They gave me the Mormon Bible, man. I was like, what? I just told you. But anyway, anyway, it's been a week. I didn't even look at it.
Okay.
Anyway, so that's it, man.
Nice.
Look for the Muslim, man. Don't
Have they
let
come?
them
Have
go
they come
into
to see
your
you?
country. Hmm?
Those Mormons, have they come to see you again?
Maybe next week.
Okay.
Talk, have a little chat, you know. They're cool guys. They
okay.
have good attention. I know that.
Nice.
But, you know,
Yeah.
they hoop and a holler. You know, we
You don't really understand each other because of they're on a totally different.
But they're still Christian.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't have a hate for nobody. So.
Right.
But I know they're not gonna attack me and tell me that they're my master. That's
Right.
true.
That's true. They'll be nicer longer.
And they're white.
Yeah, true. Whites are nice
And,
until
you know,
they're not.
I did go to church, and you know the only people that was late were black. JC is right.
Oh, that's funny.
All right. I have a nice day, man.
Thank you. Appreciate your call. Call me again.
God bless you, bro.
You too. All right, bye. Whew. Wow. I got a super chat to read, at least one that came in over here from Lord Bibby 42. 5 coffees. It says James Hake's birthday celebration extravaganza and Bibby's bodacious birthday bash extraordinaire will celebrate its 3rd annual weekend. Drink responsibly, bros. Not too much water. Don't flush out your system. You're gonna flush out all the vitamins. Don't drink too much water. People have died or at least gotten sick from drinking too much water. Drink responsibly. Don't drink like a maniac. Same thing with alcohol if you do that alcohol thing. I know that it's wrong for me to make it sound cute by calling it alcohol. Same thing with that. Be aware. Happy birthday, Hake. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's my birthday. I just turned 40 in July of 2021. Shout out to Nick's special brownies, which is a lie. Nick does cook. He slings food. But I don't know that he makes brownies. And there's nothing untoward in brownies except natural energy from God. On American Anchor Baby, Nick, the American Anchor Baby, at 4-ish p.m. Pacific time. All right? Whew. Joel Friday TV on Tuesdays, and you can check out his podcast, joelfriday.substack.com. And I think AmericanAnchorBaby.substack.com. Let's see. Yes, indeed. That's Nicolas's Substack for his audio podcast. Whew. All right, so we get to a story or two now. Let's talk about this Barbie doll. There was a commemoration of a Barbie doll that I talked about in Hake News. Not commemoration of the Barbie doll, commemoration of the Cherokee Nation so-called leader, woman leader, this gal, Cherokee Chiefette. They just call her a chief, CNN. Wilma Mankiller. What a name. Mankiller. Is she a man killer? It's prompting some complicated feelings. You know that women are involved if it has complicated feelings. Men don't have complicated feelings, do we? I'm lumping myself in with my fellow men. Yeah, so woman word alert, complicated feelings. What are their complicated feelings? Well, this Barbie doll, for one, she's too skinny. No. Too skinny and too beautiful. That was not the real Wilma Mankiller. Rest in peace. She's died now. She was not that skinny, although that dress makes her look a little heavier, which is... Anyway. Show the number 2 picture. There's a real one. That's not how she looks. That's the real one. Wilma Mankiller. You can barely tell that she's part American Indian. First female principal chief of the Cherokee Nation. Served, so quote unquote, as the tribe's quote unquote leader from 1985 to 1995. Well, the white world was on major decline by that point as well, so we don't hold it against the Cherokees. I wonder what kind of Indian blood I might have in me. That's not Wilma Mankiller. That is a Cherokee lady. We're looking at the video, at the pictures from this CNN article. Molly Sequoia, something like that. Sequoia, Yah. I can't even pronounce the letters correctly. Of the Cherokee Nation, an old American Indian lady. Makes a handmade basket with her weathered skin face. That's cool. With white oak slats. Oak is a hard wood. And white oak is a nice, a little bit less common than the red oak. I know this from being involved in making cabinets and cabinet doors. We made our own doors. Probably why we went under. At my old job in North Carolina, circa 1940. Wow. So, like, I don't know, what's the difference between that basket and the Barbie dolls basket? I can't really tell as much difference, but that's part of their complicated. Oh, yeah, it is a little bit different. It's true. That's part of their complicated feelings. What else are they complicated feelings about, these women? It's by women, for women. It's from Mattel. Mattel makes Barbie dolls, and they've kissing up to these women. Give me a break. She doesn't have her signature jewelry. This woman always wore jewelry. Clay bead necklaces. I used to go to Indian Village. It's a Christian family camp, forest home. Indian Village. Get a obsidian arrowhead. So cool. This black polished arrowhead and cut. So cool. Awesome. I would have bead necklaces a little bit, maybe sometimes. She was one of the first to wear a gorget publicly. Let's see. Bum bum. Oh, here's another picture of her. She got the Medal of Freedom or something like that from Bill Clinton. Psh, embarrassing. Look at her. That looks nothing like somewhat like the Barbie doll. Presidential Medal of Freedom at the White House in 1998. Oh, I guess I don't have any pictures of the gorget. Gorget. Gorget was like this. Oh, yeah, you see she has some jewelry. But it is like this crescent-shaped thing. A necklace thing, like a chain, and then this crescent-shaped piece of gold or metal on the bottom of it. Big, big, big. Well, not huge, but huge for a piece of jewelry. They consulted with her husband and her friend, her surviving husband, right? Because she died. Wow, her husband outlived her. And but not her only surviving daughter, who has these sour grapes because they did not consult with her, nor the Cherokee Nation. And the Cherokee Nation was fine with that, or at least they pretended to be. They're like, well, it's good. We're getting recognition from Mattel. Barbie dolls. How would you like to be a Cherokee and then you get a Barbie doll in your honor? The first woman from the 1990s. Far past the height of the Cherokee Nation. Because the height of the Cherokees was, I don't know, maybe 1800s or before that. They even made a U.S. quarter, 25 cents, printed with her likeness on it. Who's the U.S. quarter normally? It's It's George Washington, is it? Or somebody? From George Washington to that. And shout out to her. You know, it's okay. I mean, she's dead. Rest in peace. The Cherokee Nation wants Redskins back. According to Lisa, that's what she heard. They don't know what they want anymore. Yeah, I mean, American Indians, some of them liked being, I gotta end. Some of them appreciate it, that they're considered awesome enough to be team names, awesome baseball and football team names, right? And I guess ice hockey or whatever. The Braves, the Redskins, whatever. And some of them, the mama spirit ones, the liberals, don't. The Chiefs logo was honorable, they saw it as, says Lisa. Well, she didn't say it like Yoda. You don't got to end. I have to end. I get to end. Guys, this has been the Hake Report. I hope you had fun. I had fun. Let's enjoy a Christmas song from Sufjan Stevens. Speaking of the Muslims. No, he's Christian, actually. Sufjan Stevens from the... Every year he would come out with some Christmas songs to send to his friends. Hark! Songs for Christmas, and now they're public. This is I Saw Three Ships. I hope you enjoy it, and adios, America. Catch The Fallen State, American Anchor Baby, and Church with Jesse Lee Peterson on Sunday. And shout out to the men who came to the men's forum. That was cool. Bye.
Saw three ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning.
So nice. Talented liberal musician. Christian, I think. He used to be. Do I whistle on key? The Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, those three ships. Yeah, Greenwall, he may not be totally morally straight. He's a liberal after all.
Boy, I played terrible. Did you?
Boy, I played terrible. What a liberal. Adios, America. Bye.